As people begin to awaken spiritually, something subtle but powerful starts to change inside them. It is not about withdrawing from life, rejecting ambition, or becoming detached from the world. True awakening is about seeing more clearly how life actually works and how much influence you have over your own inner experience. Awareness does not remove you from life. It brings you fully into it. One of the first things you naturally quit is constant reaction. Before awakening, most people live in a state of automatic response. A comment triggers anger. A setback triggers fear. An opinion triggers self-doubt. Life feels like a series of emotional jolts. As awareness grows, you begin to notice this pattern instead of being trapped inside it. You pause before reacting. You observe your thoughts instead of believing every one of them. You choose your response rather than being driven by impulse. This simple shift creates a sense of inner stability that many people spend their entire lives searching for. Another thing you gradually let go of is the endless chase for approval. When awareness deepens, you begin to see how draining it is to shape your life around other people's expectations. Praise feels good, but it fades quickly. Criticism feels painful, but it loses its power when you no longer define yourself by it. You begin to understand that no amount of external validation can replace self-respect. As Earl Nightingale taught, your self-image determines your results. Awakening strengthens that self-image from the inside, making approval less necessary. You also begin to quit the habit of blaming. Blame once felt comforting because it removed responsibility. But with awareness comes clarity. You see that blaming circumstances, people, or the past keeps you stuck. Responsibility, on the other hand, gives you freedom. When you accept responsibility for your thinking, your choices, and your direction, you regain control of your life. This shift is not harsh or judgmental. It is empowering. Another change happens quietly. You stop living on autopilot. You become aware of your routines, habits, and repeated behaviors. You notice when you are doing things out of habit rather than intention. You see patterns that once ran unnoticed in the background. With awareness, you begin choosing deliberately how you spend your time, energy, and attention. Life becomes less mechanical and more conscious. Over time, you also stop trying to control everything. Awakening reveals the difference between control and direction. Control is driven by fear. Direction is guided by clarity. You still take action. You still work toward goals, but you release the need to force outcomes. This creates space for trust, patience, and better judgment. None of these changes are forced. You do not quit these things because someone tells you to. You quit them because they no longer feel true. Awareness makes old patterns feel heavy and unnecessary, and this is only the beginning. As spiritual awareness continues to grow, the changes move deeper than habits and behaviors. They reach into how you relate to fear, identity, time, and life itself. One of the first things you naturally quit is living under the rule of fear. Fear does not disappear completely, but its authority does. You begin to see fear as a signal rather than a command. It becomes information, not a stop sign. You feel it, acknowledge it, and still move forward. Decisions are no longer made to avoid discomfort, but to honor growth. Another shift happens in how you view other people. You gradually quit comparing your life to theirs. Comparison loses its grip because you realize that no two journeys are meant to look the same. What once felt like pressure to keep up or prove yourself fades into clarity. You stop measuring success by someone else's milestones and begin measuring it by your own alignment. Progress becomes personal, not competitive. As awareness deepens, attachment to identity begins to loosen. You quit clinging to labels, roles, and fixed ideas about who you are supposed to be. You no longer define yourself solely by your past, your profession, or other people's expectations. Instead, you allow yourself to evolve. This creates a quiet stability. When identity is flexible, criticism hurts less, and praise matters less. You are grounded in direction rather than image. You also quit resisting the present moment. For much of life, resistance comes from wishing reality were different. As you awaken, you see that fighting what is only drains energy. Acceptance does not mean giving up or settling. It means seeing clearly. From clarity, intelligent action becomes possible. You work with reality instead of against it, and this makes your efforts more effective and less exhausting. Over time, you naturally quit chasing happiness as something located in the future. You begin to understand that fulfillment is not found at the end of a long pursuit, but built through conscious living. Peace becomes something you practice through awareness, discipline, and meaningful action. Life stops feeling like a race toward a distant reward and starts feeling like a purposeful experience unfolding one decision at a time. As Earl Nightingale emphasized, fulfillment and success are not accidents. They are the result of conscious thought and deliberate living. Spiritual awakening is not about becoming something new or extraordinary. It is about shedding confusion, fear, and false identification. It is about removing what you are not. And as these layers fall away, what remains is clarity. Responsibility replaces blame. Focus replaces DI.
Distraction.
Confidence grows from inner alignment rather than external approval. You feel more connected to life, not because life has changed, but because you are finally meeting it with awareness. This is the quiet power of spiritual awakening. It does not announce itself loudly. It reveals itself through what you no longer need to carry.